Okay, so AI coding assistants are getting insanely powerful, right? They're becoming less like simple tools and more like actual junior developers on our team. But just like any new hire, they need to be onboarded. How do you give an AI the specific context it needs to get up to speed on your project's quirks and rules? Well, it turns out the answer is a simple, elegant little file that acts as a README, but for machine.
And that right there is the core idea behind a new open standard called AGENTS.md. It's a beautifully simple concept. Just have a dedicated file in your project that speaks directly to the AI agents working on your code.
So what is it exactly? Well, Agents.md is designed to be this predictable, dedicated place where you can put instructions specifically for AI coding agents. It helps them navigate your project, run tests the right way, and follow your coding conventions. Just like you tell a human developer to. Now, what's really cool about this is that it's not some proprietary thing from one company. Nope, this actually came out of a collaboration between the big players. We're talking OpenAI, Google, folks like that. The goal was to create one single, unified, open standard to replace that whole mess of different config files every AI tool used to make us create. But I know what you're probably thinking. Hang on, don't we already have a readme.md for all this? And look, that's a totally fair question. The thing is, READMEs are designed for a completely different audience, and that distinction, it's absolutely critical. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Your README, that's for humans. It's got the project story, a quick start guide, maybe some contribution rules, but agents.md, that's for the machines. It has the super precise, unambiguous commands an AI needs. We're talking exact build steps, specific test commands, and little security gotchas like, hey, never commit the secrets folder. That kind of nitty-gritty detail would just be noise in a human-readable README. So you see, the big idea here is that this separation is a win-win for everybody. The AI agents get a clean, predictable file they know to look for, your README stays tidy and focused for your human contributors, and your agents.md file becomes this perfect machine-focused sidekick to all your existing documentation. Okay, so the why is pretty clear. Now let's get into the how. And the good news is, actually putting this into your own project is incredibly simple. It's really just 4 easy steps. First, you just create an agents.md file in your project's root folder. Second, you start adding sections for whatever's important. Build commands, code style, you name it. There are no required fields or anything, it's just plain old Markdown. Third, add in the other little notes or context you'd give a new teammate. And fourth, if you're working on a huge project, you can nest these files, which is a super cool feature we'll get to in a sec. Here's a perfect example. You see, you're not just telling the AI to install dependencies. You're giving it the exact command, pip install -r requirements.txt. This is the level of crystal clear instruction an AI needs to be reliable and effective. It just completely removes any guesswork. Now, this is where it gets really clever, especially for those huge, complex projects we call monorepos. You can actually put an agents.md file in any subdirectory, and the AI agent will always read the one that's closest to the file it's working on. This lets you have super specific instructions for different parts of your codebase. Get this, the main OpenAI repo uses 88 of these files to guide its agents through all its different packages. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but is anyone actually using it? Oh yeah, big time. Let's take a look at the real-world adoption and the amazing ecosystem that's already sprung up around this simple little standard. This number really says it all. Over 20,000 open source projects on GitHub have already added an agents.md file. So this isn't some niche idea, it's a real, growing convention with serious buy-in from the community. And check this out, the tool support is huge. We're talking about all the major players here. GitHub Copilot, Google's Gemini, that much-hyped Devin agent, and popular developer tools like Cursor and VS Code, they all know how to read this file. So the key takeaway is this. You create one agents.md file, and it just works across this entire ecosystem. The use cases are all over the map, too. For open source projects, it's like rolling out the welcome mat for AI to help with contributions. In huge enterprises like Uber and Databricks, it standardizes how AI agents get onboarded to their complex internal systems. People are even using it to help automate CI/CD pipelines and guide agents working on specialized machine learning projects. All right, let's wrap this up with a few key best practices to make sure you're getting the most out of your new AI teammates. These are super important. First off, keep it short and sweet. Agents prefer lists of commands, not long essays. And this one's huge. Treat it like your actual code. When your build process changes, you should update your agents.md in the very same commit. Also, just link to your main docs instead of duplicating info. And probably the most important rule of all, always verify the code an AI generates before you merge it. It's an assistant, remember, not the final boss.
Okay, let's just rapid fire through a few common questions people have. Do you need any required fields? Nope, it's just plain Markdown, that's it. What happens if instructions conflict in different files? Simple, the closest agents.md file always wins. And the big one? Will an agent actually run your test commands? Yes, if you list them, it'll run them. That's one of its most powerful features. So look, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this right here. README.md is for talking to other humans. AGENTS.md is for talking to your new AI development partners. It's a simple distinction, but it is the absolute key to making this collaboration work. And that really gets you thinking, doesn't it? Creating a simple, standard instruction manual for an AI is a massive step forward. So now that we have a common language to speak, what's the next great frontier for how humans and machines are going to build software together?